It's a goddamn beautiful day outside, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see, the sun is setting, the window's open, the birds are chirping. Everything's going swimmingly today. Just got out of work, just went in for a quick little money shift. Did about, it's like a 4-hour shift, made fat racks. So you guys know how that goes. And you guys better be hyped because this is gonna be another Marauder Classic coming in, I think. Let me close this window really quick so you guys can actually fucking grasp what I'm saying here. I posted a video a few days back about climbing the corporate ladder, and I wanted to delve a little bit in onto how I got my server's job, because if you ask me, the way I did it was pretty fucking baller, I'm not gonna lie. So it all goes back to Christmas Eve 2022. When you have a serving job, at least for most places, especially at fine dining, you have to be available every holiday. You have to be able to work every holiday, which is okay with me. I'm fine with working every holiday because for the most part, I don't really give a fuck about holidays. The only exception for me that I needed was Christmas, because for Christmas, I visit family. I do it every year. That's the only time I get to see them. They live in a different state. So I'm not about to let this fucking big corporation fuck with my time with my family. Does that make sense with you guys? I just wanted to see my family, and you know, I never really get to do it. So the stipulation for my job at that point was either don't come in on Christmas and lose the job, or come in on Christmas and don't see your family. So I chose the obvious option of I put my 2 weeks in so that my final day would be the day before Christmas Eve, just so I could fuck them and understaff them on Christmas and Christmas Eve. Because Christmas Eve and Christmas are pretty big holidays. They pull a lot of covers. And at this time I was still food running, so they were down a food runner, and I couldn't have been happier. You should have seen the look on my manager's face when I put the 2 weeks in. He was absolutely shocked. But I tried, dude. I tried to level with them and just tell them, like, I can work any day. Like, I'm a good employee. Like, I never miss days. Give me fucking Christmas, you jackass. But obviously that couldn't happen. So I ended up losing my job. So I was unemployed for about 5 months. Not 5 months, 4 months. And flash forward to me acquiring the job. There's this place, I don't know if you guys have heard of it, but it's called Lucky Strike Bowling. There's a Lucky Strike Bowling directly next to the restaurant that I work at. It's a good date idea. So I took this girl I was seeing at the time to Lucky Strike. You know, we bowled a little bit. I'm a Pete Weber enthusiast, for those of you that don't know. I'm a big Pete Weber guy. Look at how this thing takes fucking turns on the fucking rotary. That's absolutely unbelievable.
And he got it! That is right, I did it! That's number 5! Are you kidding me? That's right! Who do you think you are? I am!
Who do you think you are? I am. I mean, I live and breathe that. If I was a tool or if I was an asshole, that would be in my Instagram bio or the fucking caption for one of my posts. But it's a good thing I'm not a fucking scumbag that would do something like that, am I right? So I hadn't been back to the restaurant in a while, so I wanted to spin back in, you know, get a nice little fine dining meal for me and this girl I was seeing, show her that I got racks like that. So I go in, of course, I'm like a celebrity there, everyone knows me, so this girl I'm seeing, she probably thinks I'm Superman at this point. Obviously, I'm just fucking joking, guys. Slow your fucking roll. Cool your bridges, all right? But we sit down at the bar, and the person who's serving me is this bartender named Alex. And I've known Alex for the past year and a half of me working there. So I go out, and the one thing about Alex, because if I'm talking in his voice throughout the story, I want to give a little disclaimer as to what it is. So Alex is very Italian. His name, I'm not going to give the full last government name. Actually, I won't give the name at all. I don't want to expose him or divulge any information that he wouldn't want to give out. But he's like, hey, I talk like this. My name's Alex. I talk like this and I'm Italian. So that's basically like he's like stereotypical fucking greaseball. And I'm Italian too, so I could say shit like that. Don't come at me. So he goes, hey, man, you fucking coming back to Rules Chris? What's going on, kid? And so already I know, all right, I got Alex serving me. Like, I'm about to get hooked up. Motherfucker gave me 2 large aquapanas. He was like, yeah, I got these 2 fucking aquapanas. They're on the house. Here, have them. He gave me free spicy shrimp. He was like, hey, I know you didn't ask for it, but here's some spicy shrimp just because you're my guy. And then we got 2 free sides, and we got 50% off the bill. So I'm eating like a king at this Ruth's Chris Steakhouse, and I'm balling on a budget because they're not even charging me for shit. While I'm there, I'm with this girl that I'm seeing, and a bunch of the employees who are working that day, they keep coming up to me and like saying like, hi, how are you? Because I know all of them and I haven't seen them for like months. So they keep coming and being like, oh, why don't you come back? Da, 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 da. And in the meantime, there's a new manager there. So I didn't know this new manager. The manager I had beforehand was like this interim manager that was there. We used to call him Big Lobster because he was a fat guy and he would wear a big red Ruth's Chris branded fucking thing and he would stand on Expo. So we'd call him Big Lobby. That was a little joke. Lobby's short for lobster, for those of you that couldn't put 2 and 2 together. And the motherfucker did look like a lobster, I'm not gonna lie, but I'll leave it at that. So the new manager that was there was this guy named Nico. And I had never really met him before. The only thing I really knew about him was that he was gay. And that's all I really heard about him. And I actually heard the people that were there were telling me that he's a pretty good manager. So I see Nico's like giving me looks from the host stand, because I could see the host stand from my table. I could see him kind of looking and asking like, what's going on here? So all of a sudden I get a server that comes over to me that I know, and he hands me Nico's business card. And he's like, Nico wants to talk to you when you're done eating. He wants to talk to you about a serving job. So imagine how much of a fucking kingpin I feel like when I go in there with this girl I'm seeing, sit down, get free food basically, and then get a fucking job at the same time. So I finish my meal, and I tell this girl I'm seeing, I bring her to the car, and then I pull up to the front of the Ruth's Chris Steakhouse, and I'm like, just wait here, this shouldn't be that long. I walk in, and I finally come face to face with this gay guy, Nico. That's the GM. And the only reason I'm emphasizing his sexuality here is not to be controversial, but it's more to just explain to you guys, like, he wasn't just an average gay. He was one of those gay guys that's like super hyper ultra flamboyant with his gayness. Like his voice, like he had the gay voice, you know what I mean? And I'm not prejudiced, guys. I'm just trying to paint you guys a good picture. He was about 5'6". He's built like a brick shit house. He was tatted up from his fucking wrists up his arms, all on his fucking chest. And he had these beautiful gray eyes. He looked like a fucking wild, majestic Arctic wolf. It was actually really fucking impressive. Rumor had it that he was a black belt in jiu-jitsu, which I don't know. This guy was a pathological liar, as you'll see as I get further into the story. So I don't know if that was even ever true. I don't know much about this guy. But I walk into his office to get basically I didn't even need to interview at this fucking place. He basically, I walked in. He was like, oh, so you used to work here. I'd like to hire you as a server. Like, I didn't even have to, this guy didn't even fucking know me. And by the way, this is a fine dining job at serving, which actually you need a little bit of prior service experience to get into that world. But I didn't have any service experience. All I had basically was just my food running experience. I knew the menu, but it's a steakhouse, so the menu's not fucking hard to learn. I knew nothing about alcohol. I still barely know shit about alcohol, and I've been serving for a year. But I was like, hey man, I gotta tell you, I can work whatever days. I could do any days, any holidays. The one thing I can't do is one Father's Day, because that's when I go to the Montreal GP. I spend it in Montreal, and then I spend it watching Ferrari do absolute disaster classes on the fucking racetrack and just watching Max win. These past 2 years, that's basically what it's been. It's been Ferrari pain and Max Verstappen winning races. You better yield, motherfucker. You fucking slimy bitch. Guys, should I pit maneuver this fucking asshole for not fucking yielding for me? Does he not know who I am? Does he not know I walked into a Ruth's Chris and got a server job without even fucking consulting anyone first? Does he know who I am? But this is just where the story fucking begins, guys. So I just had to take a little fucking pit stop. I just absolutely fucking demolished 2 yogurts and an apple. Because as you guys know, I just got back I was on job. So working hard, got to get my sustenance in my belly. You know what I'm saying? And let me know if any of you motherfuckers sit like this, because I always get roasted for having my legs close together. People think I got no dick and balls, but I got a giant Peter, all right? So don't even fucking worry about that. Here, I'll spread now. I'm spreading now. You guys can fucking relax. So I give you the basic overview of how I got my job back, and I introduced you to the manager that I'm dealing with, or that I was dealing with. So my first 2 weeks training, I did pretty good, you know. I just was going about my business. Actually, funny story from my first 2 weeks training. I actually made the huge mistake of hitting a cart before I did one of my training shifts. And needless to say, I was discombobulated for the whole shift. At one point, I was picking up a little ceramic circular container of drawn butter, and I didn't realize, but as I was picking it up, I had it tilted and it spilled all over one of the customers' backs. And I apologized to him and brought him some napkins, and that was that. Never heard anything. Manager never knew, so that kind of went over his head, so that was a good thing. But actually, my second shift on the job was Mother's Day. And for anyone who doesn't know, Mother's Day in the restaurant industry it's like fucking Armageddon. It's the biggest holiday because everyone's going out with their moms and there's just families. It's like you go in there, you fucking salute the flag, serve your restaurant, for 10 to 12 hours, make out like an absolute fucking bandit, and then you go home, but you feel absolutely fucking devastated after when you get back. So I get through that Mother's Day shift, I'm straight up hauling ass, just serving tables for 10 hours. And the first thing that this manager says to me, that's the last time I'll call him that, but we'll call him Nico from now on. And Nico is the manager. The first thing Nico says to me after the shift is, you're going to have to pick up the fucking slack a little bit. You were kind of doing bad over at the bar. I put you in an easy section, and you were really hindered. I thought personally that I did a fucking fantastic job, being that it was my first week serving. So it took a lot for me to swallow my pride and not absolutely gouge this guy's fucking eyes out with my bare hands while the fucking bartenders watch. So already I was off to a bad fucking start with him because that really fucking got under my skin. And I've noticed throughout my life that I have a problem with my volume control sometimes when I'm in a public area and I'm talking to my acquaintances. Sometimes I get a little loud unintentionally. As well as how I have a really bad cursing issue, particularly with the F word. I let that F word rip. I mean, it's basically 90% of my vocabulary, and it's uncontrollable. Listen, I wish I could stop, but I'm like a fucking crackhead when it comes to that word. Like, I just said it just then, and I didn't even realize I said it, and it took me 2 seconds to even realize before it hit me that I actually just said it again. I'm gonna go the rest of this video without saying the F word. I'm just gonna go clean for the rest of this video. So this volume control problem kind of comes up a little bit when I'm in the restaurant because the managers don't like when the servers stay in the back and are on their phones. They prefer that you're out there, like, engaging with the guests or, like, clearing tables and shit like that. So usually we all stand by the computer system and just conversate there because really, like, we don't want to be just hoarding over our tables all the time. Because guests don't like it when you're just all up in their business and they're just trying to fucking inhale a steak. So there's this app called Open Table, and it's basically just Yelp. Like, you make reviews about the food and about the service at restaurants. Whoever, I don't know what freaks do that. Like, I've never met anyone that does reviews, but that might be my least favorite archetype of human. People that leave reviews. I don't know what kind of life you're living or if you even have one. And I actually got a bad review on Open Table talking about how I was being loud in the dining room and chatting it up with my friend. I didn't know that was against the rules. I didn't know I was still in high school because I had a big problem with this in school. I didn't know I was still in school, but I guess I was at my job because some fucking Gentile thought it would be nice to fucking snitch on me on Open Table. And then Nico sees it. So my next shift, the word goes around that I'm getting in trouble because there's this one server that gets all the fucking, you know what? I don't know if this is how every job is because I've only had one job. But there's this one person at my job, this server, that gets all the gossip and drama and news before everybody somehow. So she already had told me, before I even knew I was in trouble, she already told me I was in trouble. So I get there on my shift, she's like, you're going to have a problem with Nico because he's fuming because you got a bad review on Open Table. So at that point, I just took a deep breath in and out, threw up the fucking holy cross on my chest, kissed my hand and put it to the sky, thinking that the Almighty might save me and help me out. But no one can save me from the gay wrath of Nico because when he gets mad, he turns into a fucking man, let me tell you. So I go into his office and he starts off all nice. He's like, yeah, we got a bad review on Open Table. We can't really have that. And then it turns. He goes, am I going to have to stop scheduling you and Mike together on the same days? Because you guys just seem to talk and talk and talk and not do any work. You just stand around and do nothing. Bro, this is not true. When I work, bro, I'm hard at work. I'm doing my job. I'm going about my business. I'm making money. You know how I operate, guys. And then he goes, what do I have to do? What do I have to do, huh? And then he starts banging on the table like, what do I have to do? Am I going to have to fire you? Am I going to have to stop scheduling you? So I'm just sitting there, and I decided that the best way to go about this, the best course of action to handle this situation with this gay boss that's yelling at me, because I was talking in the dining room and some fucking absolutely protogenic human decided to come in and ruin my fucking career by leaving the bad review for me, and then my manager finds out. I had to get up and walk around because I just got really fucking angry, just reminiscing on this story. So I go, listen, Nico, I don't know what you want me to tell you. Like, I was just talking. Like, it won't happen again. You don't have to go to the extreme of firing me or anything. And he basically says, you better tighten it up or else. If there's one more mistake out of you, you're out of here. I should have never hired you back. And that, I took that personally. I was like Michael Jordan in The Last Dance with that. So I was on top of my shit for the rest of my shifts. I was on my game. I mean, we had a wine selling contest. I won the wine selling contest. I sold the most glasses of Camus. My ribeye sales were through the fucking roof. I was selling au gratin potatoes like it was fucking nothing. I was selling shit like it was free. People were buying shit, they didn't even know the price. I was scamming people, ripping people off. That's a joke, by the way, guys. Relax. Oh, let me sit back down. My legs were getting tired. I actually hit legs yesterday, so it takes a while to recuperate for me because when I go in there, I go all in. I throw a lot of heavy concrete around. I make sure a lot of heavy objects get moved around and thrown around in there. I make sure that whatever body part I hit is non-operational for the next couple of days. But I guess that's TMI. I guess you guys didn't even need to know that. I just felt like saying it. So there were a few more little incidents that happened between me and Nico, and it was at a boiling point. And I just kind of knew in the bottom of my heart that I only had a few weeks left, or if that, maybe just a week left at the restaurant, because I knew Nico was hiring other servers. I knew he was just gearing up to get rid of me. I knew he couldn't wait. So I had kind of accepted my fate at that point. I was just kind of like, okay, I'm going to get fired. I started looking for new jobs. I was going to be a dog walker. It was either dog walker or I get like my trucking license and start like driving trucks for companies or like shit like that. And then all of a sudden I come in one day and Nico's not there. My other manager, Gil, is there. And rumors going around that Nico just hasn't called, hasn't texted anyone, and he just hasn't shown up. I guess this would be a good time to drop in the fact that Nico was known for his heavy cocaine use. He used a lot of cocaine, Adderall, opiates, shit like that, just to even get... One thing about restaurant managers, now again, I've only worked in one restaurant. I can't stress that enough. I've only had one job. I've only worked at one place in my entire life. So I'm just speaking for this restaurant, and I guess I'll speak for fine dining. Dude, the managers in fine dining, the only way they last is if they do hard drugs. That's the only way that they have the energy, because they're doing so many hours. Like, for example, Nico one day worked 37 days straight. That's absolutely fucking insane. And that's not even just a rumor. Like, that's a fact. He worked 37 days straight. He would always have a Red Bull, and he would always come coked out of his mind. You just looked in his eyes, and you knew, like, he was on the fucking devil's powder. And my two other managers, I mean, I have this one manager, Serge, that I'll talk about him in another video. But he's from fucking Croatia, and he's got that Croatian accent. And that motherfucker has crazy bipolar, and he just does lines. You could just tell. You could see it. I know a cokehead when I see it. I'm fucking from Boston, guys. I mean, come on. So Nico's nowhere to be found. The managers don't know where he is. Nobody knows where he is. He could have died. Anything could have happened, really. But the rumor that went around and that is still believed to this day is that his husband got into a motorcycle accident and was taking more money than he needed to from Nico. So like basically stealing money from him. And according to my sources, I cannot confirm or deny, but this is just what has been going on. He just no call, no showed. He said he was coming the next day, never came in, never texted any of the managers. The managers were like, where are you? Where are you? He never texted back. He blocked all their numbers. And the rumor is that he is in jail in Michigan somewhere. That's the best I can give you guys. That's all I know. He no call, no showed. And I mean, his husband was stealing money from him and he went to Michigan and he could be dead. That doesn't fucking concern me because, I had beef with the guy. So, that really doesn't fucking matter to me. Is that fucked up? You guys think that's fucked up? I don't know. The only thing that I knew is now that he was gone, I was in the clear. I was in the clear to making more racks and more racks. And that's why I still work at Ruth's Chris. Basically, the reason I'm still employed at this Ruth's Chris is because my manager died and disappeared. So, I guess everything works out in the end. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope everyone's having a fantastic day, night, whatever's going on. If anyone's at this point in the video, I hope everything's going great. And I hope you found a laugh, maybe. This is all true stories, guys. This is all... If I give you guys story time videos, it's true. I'm not embezzling. All right?